Law Talk with Nick Maruchak. Thanks to MKI Legal, your trusted employment and family lawyers.
I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
Nick Maruchak joins us from MKI Legal. G'day, Nick. How are you?
G'day, Bowie. Great, thank you.
I see you've got the T-shirt on underneath the dress shirt, so feeling the cold a bit today, are we?
Yeah.
Haven't got the pedestal fan out just yet, have you?
No, yeah. And this was actually a T-shirt I went to sleep with last night, right? And you know when you wake up, you just go, I'm just going to put another, like a collar shirt over the top. Get going, get on with my day.
The best dressed lawyer in town, Nick Maruchak. If you'd like to phone Nick, you can, 133 882. He's our legal expert and he's got great expertise, great wisdom, great experience. Call in, 133 882. This is a record, isn't it? We'll talk about this payment to the death of this 16-year-old worker. Nick, tell us the circumstances. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, so just a couple of days ago, we had a record penalty issued by WorkSafe for breach of safety laws. Basically, there's a Perth-based company. They're in surface treatment company. They're called in Welshpool. 16-year-old worker died, unfortunately, a couple of years back. There was doing some spray painting and some sandblasting, and a big steel beam that weighed half a ton. It was suspended from an overhead monorail, and then someone kind of pushed the beam, and then the thing fell down and crushed the boy. So obviously, this company also has been issued with a previous WorkSafe prohibition notice in the past. So this wasn't their first encounter, but WorkSafe went and investigated, and they got the highest penalty in WA for breach of safety laws, which was $975,000 for the boy's death. I don't know if that would, that's I think someone's life is worth a lot more than that, but it shows that it's being taken more seriously. And it's just a reminder that when you're running a business, you have these non-delegatable duties that you can't just delegate to your team. When you're an officer, when you own the company, you have to take primary responsibility that the safety of the entire team is and any of the visitors on there. So you have to keep up to date. You have to do best practices. You have to do everything that is as far as is reasonably practical. And we have laws that came in a few years back, which is, they're called industrial manslaughter offences, where, say 3-4 years ago, I can't remember exactly, but for the first time, it made it actually a criminal offence if someone dies at work. So these are powerful laws, but what you need to prove there is that the person knew that this unsafe conduct could likely cause a death. So there has to be some knowledge, and that person disregarded. So in this case, there wasn't that criminal offence, but that's also on the cards for people.
Yeah, all right. Thanks, Nick. Sam's phoned in from Cannington. G'day, Sam.
Hi, Simon. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hello.
We have just had a wood floor installed, and it looks great and everything's great. But yesterday we got the final bill, and they've tacked on an additional $2,000 for extra grinding of the slab. And we have never seen a variation, and they've never spoken to us about an additional cost. When we got the quote done, all of our flooring had already been pulled up, and he went around with a slab and he said it's not too bad. But when they've actually come to do the job, the installers said, oh, your slab's very bad. And I'm like, okay, well, just, tell the boss. And he said it wasn't bad, but he never spoke to us about an additional cost at any time. One of the conditions in the terms and conditions says that if alterations are required, including additional labour or material, extra charges will apply to the fine and added to the final invoice. But I'm wondering, wouldn't that be something that they should have discussed with us through the process, so that we were aware that we were going to get an additional $2,000 bill?
Yeah, I would have thought that would have been the right way of doing it. So you got the contract terms, which they have in there, but they always told you all along that it was going to be a certain price, and then because there's another thing called misleading and deceptive conduct. So if you get misled by someone, so if someone tells you this is what's going to cost, and you rely on that representation, then you can rely on misleading and deceptive conduct as a claim against them irrespective of what the contract says. So even though so the terms that you read, I would like to read more of the contract, but it sounds like you potentially have an argument there.
Okay.
Yeah, Sam's just got some background noise there. Keep going, Nick.
Okay, so the extra. So I would try and dispute it first. So have a go with them and say, look, you didn't advise me of the extra charges. If you were advised of the extra charges, would you have said no? I don't want the extra work and save $2,000? Because that's also an important consideration. That's on the one hand of the argument, and the other hand of the argument is this: you actually receive this benefit, right, at their loss that you got. So it's balancing those two items. If you could say confidently, look, if you would have told me I would have not engaged your services, then I think there's also a potential argument there as well for you. Because the other side for them is they say, well, we just installed this, you got it for free, you've got this windfall. So there's a few issues going on. But could you just maybe give me your view on whether, if you had been told about these extra charges, would you potentially have maybe refused them?
No, all along I had said to them, if there's any additional costs, we understand, but we just want to know about them so that I can budget.
Mm-hmm.
And we will then, we can discuss that with you, but no problems at all. The whole way along, we've said that to them.
Okay, and they understood that.
Yep. And I just said, but I just need to know if there's going to be any additional costs, let us know.
Yep, cool. So you got this contract term that's got this very clear thing that says we can charge you if there's extra work. But you have to kind of balance that contract term. One argument you can have is that there's got to be implied into the contract that they'll at least discuss the variations with you, right? Discuss it before they just go willy-nilly approve it. So they didn't do that. So that there's a potential argument they may have not complied with at least the implied terms of the contract. So there's also a misleading deceptive conduct argument here as well. So I think you've got some grounds here under Australian consumer law to push back a little bit and to see if you can negotiate some sort of outcome with them that you might be happy with and they might be happy with as well. But the other alternative is you just refuse to pay. You say and you argue your contractual rights, and then they'll have to go and chase you up. So
does that help, Sam?
Yes, a lot. Thank you very, very much.
Thanks, Sam. Good on you. Thanks for calling in. 133 882. Nick, in the fine, the $975,000 fine for the terrible death of this young fella, where does that money go?
That would go to the government, WorkSafe, under Department of Justice. That would go into our coffers as any other fine, and yeah. Okay.
And does what potentially would a victim's family receive?
This victim's family would be a separate claim, right? Yeah. So the victim's family will be covered under workers' compensation law. Mm-hmm. So that is that would give them some money there. Yeah. And so if there has been significant, say, really serious negligence, then the victim's family can also go around the workers' compensation laws, because those laws are capped. They will cap how much money they pay out. They can go around it, and they can sue the business under common law, it's called, so outside the statutory regime, and that can be a lot more. And then it's a question of, well, does the business have the money? Because if a business doesn't have the money, then they go into bankruptcy or they go into insolvency. Mm-hmm. Can you sue an individual? Do they have money? Are they going to go into bankruptcy? Whereas under the workers' compensation insurance scheme, the insurer will pay for it. So yeah, out of this one, the victim's family doesn't get it. This penalty here is designed to be a punishment and to deter people to follow safety laws.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Thanks for your query, John. Good on you, mate. Hello, Jeff.
Hi, Simon. It's Jeff from Buzz.
Hello, Jeff. How are you, mate?
Good. And thank you for coming that day. I was just awe-inspiring. I was just,
That's
I'd
right,
just
mate.
like to thank you anyway.
Yeah, no worries. How was your birthday?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, we went out and family and that and all the kids and that, and I got spoilt, and it was great. So I didn't get what I wanted, but that's okay. That's okay.
Good to meet you, mate, and good on you for looking after those fellas at your workshop. You're a good lad.
Yeah.
How can we help you?
Yeah, well, I deal with timber flooring. I just want to put a light onto that lady. She does have a point to a degree, but there's an association called the Australian Timber Flooring Association that they've put a protocol on laying floors, because laying floors on different surfaces has become a major problem. And the floor guy, the contractor, he should have communicated with her to say that the floor was unlevel and needed grinding. But on the other hand, she should probably have to have a look that he did the right thing. He ground the floor, made the floor level, and she got a good product out of it. If they would have just laid it without grinding it, there would have been a lot of problems with it, delamination, and then it would have cost them more than $2,000 going to court. So I think your lawyer said you got to sometimes balance you got to balance it a bit. If she got a good job and had no problems, because floors can be tricky.
Yeah. That's the point. I accept what you're saying because she did receive a service valued at $2,000. So maybe a compromise might be, well, maybe let's reduce the price a little bit, right? Just find some sort of balance in between where and maybe that could be a good compromise, because it does cost more, it does get more ugly, more stressful with courts. So
Good on you, Jeff. Good to hear your voice. Have a good day, mate.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya. 15 and a half minutes to 11. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Keith, stay there. More of Nick Maruchak after these. 133 882 is the phone number if you'd like to call through. Nick Maruchak's with us from MKI Legal. Mick Collis will join us after 11 o'clock. And for people who are listening to the show a little bit earlier on, Saul Estlake will join us after 11. He's flying to Perth and flying into a bit of a storm, I reckon, over the GST carve-up. Keith's phoned in. Nick, to have a chat to you. G'day, Keith.
Good morning. How you doing?
Going well, mate.
Good morning. Good morning, Nick. I'm just speaking on behalf of a friend of mine that she had a pretty horrific car accident a few years ago. It wasn't her fault. And anyway, cut a long story short, she got granted $140,000 by the Insurance Commission.
Yep.
And in the meantime, with the money being granted and being sent to her solicitor, the law firm, which was Schroders in Sydney, went bankrupt. And consequently, she hasn't received 1 cent.
Oh, wowee.
So I can give you some views on this from a WA perspective, right? So this is the way I would approach it. First of all, that $100,000 should have gone into the solicitor's trust account. A trust account is not the solicitor's bank account. It's a money that the solicitor holds on trust for the clients, right? So and then when the money goes into trust, it's highly regulated. So if a solicitor is dishonest, they put their finger into the till and take some money out of the trust account. There is a scheme in Western Australia. We have a fund that administered by like the Law Society or the Legal Practice Board, where they compensate people. It's called a Fidelity/guarantee fund, where every year a lawyer will have to kind of pitch into that fund. All the lawyers do, they get charged. And that covers people who suffer loss from a dishonest or a reckless or dishonest acts or omissions in relation to trust money.
Is that right?
Yeah. So in this case, if this happened in WA, I would have gone, well, that money should have gone trust account. The solicitor issues their invoice. Whatever the invoice is, they take that part out of the trust and then it goes to the client. But if this money went straight into the solicitor's personal bank account, then and then they go bankrupt, well, this fund can apply. So you have to check if there's an equivalent fund by the Law Society of New South Wales about trust accounts. Then the second course of action for your friend, backup, is all solicitors have to have professional indemnity insurance, right? So if a solicitor's negligent, they don't do their job properly, it's obviously a high-risk profession where, people get the law wrong often. And if you suffer loss, the insurer will cover you. So you got general professional indemnity insurance plus this Fidelity guarantee fund, and that's the way I'd kind of follow up. And you want to take action quickly though, because after 6 years, you'll be out of time. So you want to. So I would probably take this matter to a lawyer, and they can start the claim and give you some advice.
Do you know if she's tried any of that, Keith?
No, she hasn't. But what happened? She was the reason why she had to select her. It's in West Australia, obviously, but she had a solicitor in Sydney because she's seen an ad about that Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, But went after she signed up for them to handle their case and all that, but she found out later that they never had an office in Perth at all. You know, they just sort of, yeah. So it all come from there. She has tried to chase it up a bit, not through a solicitor because obviously she hasn't got any money, and because she was out of work for that long, and all she received from the solicitor obviously is not answering any phones.
Yeah.
And then she got told some other mob that was handling it, but there's no contact at all.
Yeah. Try the Law Society of New South Wales first. Give them a call. That's where the solicitor is regulated. The solicitor also have problems, ethical problems as well here if they didn't follow the trust regulations properly. So try that. See if they can give you some refer to someone who might be able to take this case on pro bono. But you definitely want to pursue it because I think the insurance will end up coughing it up.
Yeah, and you have to do it in New South Wales. Or ideally.
Yes.
That's where it's based, yeah.
Well, that's where the insurers is.
Is that all right, Keith? Can you progress that and let us know how you go?
Yeah.
She's pretty competent on the internet, and that's obviously she could do it all through that.
Yeah, I reckon, mate. Law Society of New South Wales.
Try them first for sure.
Yeah.
They will be able to go through all the fine details about it and give you all your options.
Keep us posted, will you, Keith?
Okay, then. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, mate. Keith from Aurelia. Hello, Jenny.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Good, Jenny.
I just wanted to find out where I stand. I had my kitchen renovated. The bottom part was just all new doors and the top was a new section they were going to rebuild. This started in May. The doors got put in September. I paid the deposit of about $10,000 back in June. And now they've come back and said, due to the few changes that I made and due to expenses, etc., they can't continue. Thank you very much. You'll have to find someone else to finish the job. Where do I stand?
That is... So was the work valued more than the
work...
Yep.
It was 14,000, I think, which I paid a down payment straight away when they wanted it. And I said to them, "You've got no drawings. I don't know what I'm paying for. I need to have some drawings." Or we can't do the drawings until you actually pay the money because it costs us to get drawings done. So I paid the money, but then each time the drawings came, they were incorrect to what the discussions were, and they had to change it. And now he's come back and said, "Look, you're making too many changes, and it's not feasible for us to continue this job. Unfortunately, there's great regret. We can't continue, and we hope you find someone to finish the job."
Yeah, so in this case, all right, so the builder's still around. It's not like they went under. The work is less than 20K. If it's more than 20K, they have to get insurance, right? Insurance to cover the loss, but that insurance is limited anyway in case the builder disappears and stuff. So in your case, you have to potentially work out something called like adjustment, right? You've paid some money. How much of the deposit do you get back in order to compensate them for the work they've done so far? But at the same time, understand that it's going to be more expensive for someone else to pick up the losses. So if they're a registered builder as well, you can make a complaint to the Building Commission too. So the first step would be you want to try and find someone new. You want to find some quotes to go, how much would it cost me to finish the job? And then you want to work out what you're happy with of that deposit or part payments. How much would you like to get that back? That represents a fair amount depending on the stage of the work. So
have you got any information exchanges in writing or an email, Jenny? Have you got a bit of a paper trail on this?
Heaps. I've got a file full.
Yeah, okay.
A file of their invoices, then the quote, what they're going to do, the specifications. I have it all. But it's very hard to find someone that's just going to finish someone else's job. This is what I'm finding. I want them to finish the job. I'm prepared to take them to magistrates' court and take it to Court of Petty Sessions if I have to. For them, we're in a contract as far as I'm concerned. Is that not correct? We're in a contract to finish the job.
Have a look at the contract and see if there'll be a potential right to terminate under that contract, right? So that's the question here. If they're legally entitled to terminate, then it's a question of working out that fair adjustment payment. If they don't have the right to terminate under the contract until the work is finished, well, that's a different story, right? Then you're entitled to. You basically, If they don't have the right to terminate, these are your rights. You go get someone else to pay for the work, even if it costs them 10 grand more than they quoted you. You charge them 10 grand, right? So I can have a quick look at the contract. I can have a look, because this will be governed by there's the Home Building Contracts Act in WA, right? That governs, if they are a registered builder, that governs kind of works like this. So I can look deeper into that. I can, if you leave your details, I can just look at those provisions in relation to termination. But my view is they potentially might have a right to terminate in this case, and just a matter of those adjustments, but I will check that out. So if they do have the right to terminate, then it's a question, this is what you can do. You go find a quote for someone to, how much it's going to cost you, and then try and get back as much as you can from them. But yeah, your other options, if you really want to be aggressive, is give the building commission a call, speak to them about this, because especially if they're defective works or anything that wasn't done properly, that's one option. And, well, last resort is going to the magistrate's court. But if your claim is more than 10 grand, you go there and you lose, you have to pay their legal fees. So that also has to be balanced as well. So, Jenny, maybe I can would you like me just to maybe give you a call later in the week?
Jenny, I'll put you back to Soph and to Kira, and we'll grab you, perhaps you and Nick can hook up on that one. Thanks, Jenny. Nick, thank you very much for today, mate. We've run out of time, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week in a nice dress shirt.
Thank you, Bowie.
Yeah, see you, mate. Couple of minutes to 11 o'clock.